Hello dear students, this is Raksha Shetty and you're watching Edubassa, your homely learning channel. So in the last video we learned about the coordination in the plants. Now again we are going to learn about animals, which includes the animal hormones. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Yes. So these are the contents. We are going to learn about the introduction, endocrine system, which includes all of the main glands, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, which is also called as master gland, thyroid gland, pancreas, and adrenaline, which is the hormone produced by the adrenal gland. And we are going to also learn about hormones and the puberty, as well as the feedback mechanism. First is the introduction part of it. What do you mean by hormones? See, hormones are nothing but they are the chemical messengers in the animals. So the chemical messengers that is taking place in the animals is nothing but they are the hormones. Understood? So what it helps for? It helps for the coordination. It helps for regulating all of the functions of the body. Okay, it helps for the coordination of the body as well as the regulating all of the body functions. For example, just imagine one squirrel is in danger. So when is it is in danger? So what it does? So in order to fight danger, in the sense some other bigger animal has attacked the squirrel. So what it does? It will either fight with that animal or either it will run away from that animal, isn't it? For both purpose they'll be using the muscles, isn't it? So some of the hormones will be released during that time. So that is basically adrenaline hormone, which we are going to learn further. Okay, so which is going to help it to basically use its muscle for the fight or the flight purpose. Okay, you can take the example of you as well. Just imagine at your home, so you'll be sleeping in your room. Okay, you are home alone, and just imagine one ghost arrives when you are home alone. What happens? Will you ask with the ghost to make some chai and drink together? Obviously no. Either you will fight with the ghost and protect yourself, or else you will run away from the ghost, right? So during that particular situation, some hormone is released so that to cope up with that particular situation. So that itself is the hormone. Okay, clear? So that is one of the hormone which I give the examples, and you are going to learn like that so many hormones in detail. Yes. Endocrine glands. So these are the main glands which is present: hypothalamus, pituitary gland, pineal gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, thymus, pancreas, adrenal gland, testes, and ovaries. So these are all the major glands of the endocrine system. In the previous of the video, in the first video, we have already learned of this chapter that there are two types of systems. If you didn't see the video, please go now itself and subscribe to my channel as well, please. Okay, fine. So there is two systems. One is nervous system, nervous system, and one more is endocrine system. We had already learned that, isn't it? This nervous system includes the neuron, whereas endocrine system includes the hormones. Okay, these hormones are produced by all of these glands. So in the NCERT syllabus, this is included, and the thyroid gland is included, pancreas is included, adrenal gland is included, testes and ovaries. All these glands are included, and we are going to learn in detail about those glands. Okay, fine. Now the endocrine system in the human beings. Just look at this. Okay, you can see over here we already learned about hypothalamus. Did we, in the structure of brain? Obviously yes. So the hypothalamus, okay, pituitary gland. So there is pineal gland as well. So the thyroid gland is present in the throat region, which looks like butterfly. You can see over here, isn't it? Parathyroid gland over here, and thymus over here, and pancreas. And you can see above the kidney, you can see the adrenal gland, so that as well, and the testes in the male and ovary in the female. Okay, fine. So let us learn about hypothalamus. So hypothalamus, what it does is nothing but it basically releases the releasing hormone. It basically releases what? The releasing hormone. And this releasing hormone, it activates what? It activates the next hormone, which is basically pituitary gland. Next gland, I'm sorry, not next hormone. So it will activate the pituitary gland. Why? To prepare the hormone. To prepare the hormones, what it does, it activates the pituitary gland. So what the hypothalamus does is nothing but hypothalamus will release the releasing hormone, and this releasing hormone, the function of this releasing hormone is to activate the pituitary gland. What it is activating is nothing but in order to prepare the hormone, it activates. Clear? So this is the function of hypothalamus. It controls the releasing of the many hormones. Hypothalamus is present in the brain region, isn't it? The example, produces releasing factor, stimulates the pituitary gland, and of course it helps for the regulation and growth and other body functions as well. Next is the pituitary gland. So it is also called as the master gland. I told you what the hypothalamus gives what the it releases the releasing hormone, which controls the production of the hormone here. So it produces which hormone is nothing but it secretes growth hormone and produces the growth hormone. So obviously, as the name itself says, growth, what the growth helps for? This growth helps for obviously for the growth hormone helps for the growth as well as development of the body. It obviously helps for the growth and development of the body, for the proper growth of the body, for the proper development of the body. Which hormone does help us? The growth hormone, that is released by which gland? Pituitary gland. So sometimes what happens is nothing but the production of this growth hormone will be more or less in amount. If it is more in amount, the access, in the sense, if it is more in amount, it causes one disease which is called as gigantism in the sense that person will be very tall. And if it's deficient in the sense, if the growth hormone is less in amount, then causes dwarfism, which means short height. Clear? Yes. Next is about the pancreas. So pancreas is a gland and insulin is the hormone produced by the pancreas gland. Okay, pancreas is the gland and insulin is the hormone produced by the pancreas gland. Now what the pancreas gland does is nothing but it produces the hormone called as insulin. Obvious, isn't it? It produces the hormone called as insulin. Now what is the function of this insulin is nothing but it regulates the blood sugar level. So isn't it, there are diabetic patients and all, because they eat a lot of sweet, and what happens, they get the sugar, isn't it? So the sugar is controlled by which one? This insulin, which is produced by the pancreas in the body. So sometimes what happens is nothing but the pancreas will not be able to produce the insulin properly, and hence what happens, that person will be suffering from the sugar, and he has to be injected outside with this same insulin, okay, by the doctors. Clear? Fine. Next is thyroid gland and iodine. Okay, so thyroid gland, as we have seen earlier, thyroid gland, where it is present? It is present in the throat region. It is present in the which region? Throat region. It looks like butterfly. It looks like what? Butterfly shaped thyroid gland. What it produces is nothing but it produces a hormone called thyroxine hormone. It produces a hormone called as which hormone? Thyroxine hormone. Now this thyroxine hormone, the function of this thyroxine hormone is to regulate the carbohydrate, protein as well as fat metabolism. So it regulates the metabolism of all the carbohydrates, proteins as well as fat. That is the function of the thyroxine hormone. Now this thyroxine hormone needs what? Needs iodine. Why it needs iodine? Because without iodine the thyroxine hormone cannot be produced. Okay, without iodine the thyroxine hormone will not be produced, which leads to the enlargement or the swelling of the neck. So just imagine, this is the I'll do it here. Okay, this is the neck region, this is the face region, this is the neck region. So what happens when the iodine we will not take the iodine, the mineral in the food? What happens? Iodine basically present in that of the salt. Okay, so if it is not taken up are taken sufficiently, what happens is nothing but the thyroxine will not be produced. As a result of this, thyroid gland will swell, and hence the neck region is going to swollen up, and that is called as which disease? We call it as goiter. That is called as which disease? We call it as goiter. Okay, fine. Next is adrenaline, which is nothing but the hormone. Adrenaline is a hormone produced by the adrenal gland. Which gland? Adrenal gland. So this adrenal gland produces which hormone? Adrenaline hormone, which is also called as which hormone? Emergency hormone. We have already discussed about this hormone. Do you remember? Yes, while I told you about the example, of course, isn't it, during the emergency situation, when you have to fight or you have to run. During that situation, what happens? This adrenaline gland, adrenal gland produces the adrenaline hormone. So obviously it is secreted by the adrenal gland, and what happens is nothing but this adrenaline is directly released into that of the blood. So what happens after it gets released into that of the blood? The heart beat is going to beat faster, and the blood pressure is going to increase, so that what happens, the blood supply takes place to that of the muscles, because during that particular situation your muscles should be used up, isn't it? So what happens is nothing but the heart is going to pump a lot of blood, so that and we tend to breathe fast during that situation. When breathing increases, the more oxygen will be taken up by that of the blood, and hence the blood reaches where? To that of the muscles rather than going to that of the digestive system or the skin, because during that emergency situation we are not eating or we are not using the skin, isn't it? So the blood, most of the blood will move to that of the muscle region itself, because there needs the blood, there needs the oxygen to be carried, because there needs the energy. So all this is done by which gland? Adrenal gland. So breathing rate increases because the diaphragm and the rib muscles they help for the increase of the breathing rate. So, and it prepares body for the fight or the runway situation, fight or flight situation. Clear? Fine. So next is about the hormones and puberty. So hormones and puberty, in the sense these are basically the puberty hormones. So there are two, the male reproductive system called as testes, and the female reproductive system called as ovary, isn't it? So the testes produces which hormone? The testes produces testosterone. It produces testosterone, you can see here, okay, that is produced by the male gland. So now what exactly happens is nothing but, so this testosterone helps for the development of the features of the male. Which are the features of the male? It might be the beard, development of beard, deep voice. The boy's voice will be, the male's voice will be deep, isn't it? So deep voice, and secondary sexual characters. Which sexual characters? Male sexual characters. Okay, what else? Reproductive parts, development of the reproductive parts. So all this is done by which one? This testosterone hormone. Now the ovary produces what? Estrogen. So estrogen or the progesterone, estrogen and the progesterone basically, okay, estrogen and the progesterone is produced by the ovary. So this hormone helps for the features, development of the features in that of where? In the females. Which are the features now? Once again, now which are the features now? The features here are nothing but one is nothing but the breast size, and the menstrual cycle regulation of the menstrual cycle in the sense the periods, okay, menstrual cycle, and secondary female sexual character, and obvio what? The development of the female organ, So all these functions, all these features of the females are developed by which one? Estrogen and the progesterone. Clear? So hence responsible for the puberty as well as the reproductive maturity. Next is about the feedback mechanism. What do you mean by feedback mechanism? See, I am doing some chapter for you. So if I'm doing some chapter for you and you're not liking of some aspect of mine, and you will say in the comment section like, ma'am, you have to do something better, isn't it? So I will take it as a feedback and I'll try to make it better, isn't it? That is me. That is how I will work, how everybody works in this world, isn't it? With the feedback. Okay, so the same way the hormones also work in the feedback mechanism itself. For example, just imagine the blood sugar level is more in that of the blood. I mean, the sugar level is more in that of the blood. So what happens? If it is more, obviously the pancreas has to secrete more insulin, isn't it? Because the blood sugar level is more. Getting my point? So according to, so here the blood sugar level is more. For that reason, so it has to take the feedback of that and it has to increase the production of the insulin. If the blood sugar level is less, the same way the pancreas has to secrete the less insulin. The production of insulin should be lesser because the blood sugar level is not that much, isn't it? So that is called as feedback mechanism. So hormones are secreted in the precise quantity, so that is controlled by the system in our body, which is the feedback mechanism system. Clear? So that is about it. So we will quick revise the topics whichever learned in this video. So for first thing is nothing but hormones are the chemical messengers in the animals. There are two systems, one is endocrine system, one is nervous system. Nervous system, neuron, already learned. Endocrine system, basically it includes several glands which secretes the hormones. One is adrenal gland, which helps for the fight and flight response. Thyroxine, which obviously looks like in the structure of the butterfly, and that is produced by the thyroid gland, and it needs iodine, and it controls what? Metabolism. And growth hormone is what produced, and this growth hormone helps for the development of the body, and if it is less in quantity, dwarfism is caused. If it is more in quantity, gigantism is caused, basically. Okay, fine. So the insulin is produced by that of the pancreas, which regulates the blood sugar level. So if it is deficient, that is nothing but the diabetes patients will be needed this insulin. So that's why the insulin is produced by the pancreas in order to regulate the blood sugar level. And there is testosterone as well as estrogen and the progesterone. Okay, testosterone is a male hormone, estrogen is a female hormone. Testosterone helps for the male features, development of the male features. Estrogen and the progesterone helps for the development of the female features, which includes the regulation of the menstrual cycle and secondary sexual characters of the female here, sexual secondary characters of the male here. Fine. Hypothalamus basically releases the releasing hormone, and that controls the pituitary gland, which is the master gland for the production of what? For the production of the growth hormone. Hence the growth hormone helps, which is released by the pituitary gland, helps for the development of the growth and development of the body. Then feedback mechanism. So the entire hormones is controlled by this system. So it regulates based on the feedback. For example, if I'm taking the example of the blood sugar level, if the sugar level is more, the production of the insulin is also more. If the sugar level is less, the production of the insulin is also less. Okay, that's about it. Thank you so much. So I have inserted this as well, which is nothing but the hormones may be invisible, isn't it? Hormones are not invisible to us, but their actions control every visible change in our body, isn't it? So it does control every visible changes that is taking place in our body. That's it for today, my dear students. Let's meet again in the next video. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Until then, keep watching, keep learning, and very, very, very importantly, enjoy while learning. See you. Bye bye.